Welcome to Japan and Annette's Travels. After arriving at the Tokyo Narita Airport, I found myself a shuttle to my hotel. My hotel room I felt was spacious and bright. I looked around, of course, to see what amenities there were, and I thought it was just so lovely. Of course, I made my way over to the window, and it was at this point that I fully realized just how forested Japan really is. A quick peek at the coffee maker showed that indeed there was no coffee there, but two kinds of green tea. This is a little courtyard just outside what they call the casual dining, which I'll show a picture of my plate. It's probably those bamboos. My goodness, it's beautiful out here. Wow, absolutely stunning. I saw what was the first of hundreds of vending machines on my travels and had breakfast at the hotel again. It was more reasonably priced this time, and I was ready to eat. I transferred back to the Narita Airport and found my airport limousine bus that took me to the Haneda Airport, an hour and a half away, and that took me to Kochi, where my son picked me up, and I couldn't have been happier. Check out those smiles. He offered to drive his bleary-eyed mom around the Kochi city just for a little bit of a tour as I got off the plane on the way to his house. We found a Starbucks for Glenn when he comes to Japan to see Tanner. And we got to visit the Haramaya Bridge. Probably, they say, one of the most disappointing stops in Japan. Well, we were enjoying a sea salt ice cream at a local store. I spied this lady feeding the pigeons, and really, I just thought that was so beautiful. How lovely of her. This is one of the many tunnels that we traveled during my time in Japan. Many. And we arrived in Saga, Tanner's hometown. And I was just so excited because I'd only ever seen any of this in videos. Yes, folks, that's a tsunami tower. We made the quick little trek from Tanner's parking lot down his back alley to his house. And yes, they can drive cars down those little back alleys. Their cars are so small. Of course, he was a dutiful son and took me to the grocery store right off the hop and showed me around at some local parks. I let him go first to make sure that he could swipe any of the spider webs away, and he said actually it's wild boars that you have to be worried about in Japan. As we live about 12 hours of driving from an ocean in Alberta, Canada, this was just such a treat, and I could sit and look at the ocean all day long. This is his drive to work to Ireno, and in Ireno there is a very nice beach, and so he took me there, and I was glad to see it. The waves were coming in pretty hard that day, but I didn't mind. There is also this is my first temple that I got to see right at Arena Beach. And of course, we went on many excursions to see different things. This is a mountaintop park that is in Shimanto City. And the road's getting there, folks. This is a two-way road and barely big enough for one little car. The park is beautifully groomed, and so is all of Japan. I just have no idea how they can keep up with it with all the rain that they get and really just grow. Everything just really grows there. Some beautiful views there of the city below. Those bugs that you hear in the background, if you're not familiar with those are cicada bugs. And thankfully, the cicada bugs go to bed at nighttime because you can hear them right through the walls of the house. Very tropical here. As we left the park, we made our way to the mall. I didn't get a lot of pictures of the mall, but I did get the funniest picture there. And these machines stole quite a bit of my money. You know, I definitely thought I could outsmart them, but no, that didn't happen. The first Sunday night that I was there, we went to a local izakaya, which is a Japanese bar, and its name is Moon. And so this was some of my very first traditional Japanese food that we ate. And so this restaurant quickly became one of my favorites, and it was just like a minute walk from Tanner's house. A lot of these dishes I am going to be able to make at home, including the pumpkin dish. And this is tonkatsu. That's a fried pork cutlet served with shaved cabbage, sesame dressing, and it is delicious. I was fascinated with all the waterways that are around Tanner's town as he gave me a tour. We went up sort of one of the very first tsunami sort of places, just walk up the side of the mountain. I got to see the marina, absolutely stunning. And of course, as the farmer in me wanted to know what was happening, there are rice fields all around the town. In my second video, I'll show you some views from the top. Of course, he took me to the train station, just in case. This is katsu no tataki, and that is tuna you see there. It looks like a steak. It is just slightly seared on the outside, and it was delicious. Tanner's boss, Bonji, wanted to meet with us, and he treated us to a delicious buffet in his town, and he's just such a nice man. It was such a joy to meet him, and he is so kind and wonderful. He made this collage of my time there. I got to go to Tanner's school for the last day of class for the students before summer. Everybody takes their shoes off, and I was the entertainment or the class for them for the last day. I presented 4 different times to 4 different classes about myself, and Tanner did a quick game that they could do on their computers, and it was so much fun. That's a school lunch provided to Tanner. And here's a few things that Tanner has done for his Let's Speak English boards and a few posters around the school. If you'd like to see more of my Japan trip, come back for part 2. Thanks for being here and take care.